There'll be nothing left.
Hear that spring reverb on 8? Everything in together. On today's video, we're going to be doing a fika remix, and I've decided to do a new series of videos. I've got 3 songs at least in mind for this. The first one we're going to do is called Wondering Tomorrow. Now, it's already been released twice. It's been released on Bonafide, which was an all 4-track, all analog project album EP. Short album EP, somewhere in between, 6 tracks I think, 2015, and that was done, yeah, all analog, different setup to what I've got now. Then I released it with the Telmos as with musicians, did a music video, used to play it live, but I've gone back to the original 4-track recording, got all the bits up and thought, you know what, I could do a video on this, and it'd actually be quite nice to see if there's an improvement between how I've got the Analogue Outboard in play now, and I've got the mixing desk and the reel-to-reel tape machine going through all those processes. So let's see if I can improve it. And in these remix videos, like I say, 3 videos, I think I'm going to do the proper audio, so make sure you get your headphones ready. Here we go, Wondering Tomorrow. There's the tape. Because this is just acting as a tape player with 4 outputs. So if you've seen any of my other videos, this mixer section is completely irrelevant because we're going tape out 4 tracks and into this where it sounds a lot better and it's a lot more flexible. You can do a lot more with it. So let's start with track 4. Now track 4 is a bounce, which has got drums, acoustic, electric piano, bass and tambourine on it. How on earth is there 5 things on one track? I honestly don't know. But that's what it is. That's what we've got. And then on track 1 you've got an organ and an accumulation of backing vocals. And then on tracks 2 and 3 you've got your lead vocals. Now this is where things get interesting with the patches. And I'm going to do my best to explain how we've got things going here. So, as you can see, these sections, these are assigning to the master buses, which are here, which are 4 groups, 4 mono groups. And out of 2, so I've got the lead vocals routed, as you can see, into 2, and then 2 here, the master fader for that is here. We've got an insert, a send and receive, and what that's doing is sending and receiving down here on my patch bay, and we are going into the compressor, and then we are going into the Pultec style EQ, and then that's coming back onto the track, onto these 2 tracks, and we've got compression on the vocals. Okay, but then I want reverb as well, so what I'm doing is on the main sort of vocal, it's double track, but I would class track 3 as the main one. Just here we've got direct out, and then we're going into this little Jomeek compressor, which I really love actually. These are really cheap. If you ever see one of these, great for 4 tracks. You know, yeah, it's not got transformers or valves in it or anything like that, but it really just does a simple little job, you know, and it's great for just patching in a bit of compression when you need it. And, you know, if you've only got your 4-track, it's actually a slightly better preamp, in my opinion, of course. So what we've got there is we're going direct out of the vocal, the main vocal, direct out into this box, but then this has its own insert point. Its own insert point comes after the preamp. So you get your level, and then bang, we're down here. We're in and out of this Vermona spring reverb. But what's great is the reverb comes back to this. Then I can compress it, which compressing a big reverb sound just makes it sort of, you know, even bigger. And then it's coming onto channel 8 here. We've got it coming through on here, and I can use the reverb and EQ, take the low end out, enhance some of that nice mid-rangey and top of the reverb, and there you go. And I've got an independent reverb on the vocal when I want it. Bang. And then I can also assign this to another channel, another bus, and pan that. So there is pretty much the entire mix. I mean, it's quite simple. We've only got 4 tracks, but it's amazing what you can do. And I'm going to play through the things now. So here we go. Tapes are rolling, tapes are rolling. You can hear those drums coming in. Acoustic. Everything's on mute. Everything that you can hear right now is just this one track. Electric piano, acoustic, bass and drums on one track. And all the effects would have been printed to tape originally on this, so I don't really need to do anything with it. Backing vocals, an organ on one, which are a bounce. Would have been 2 vocals and then an organ overdub live.
Hold it in your hand.
Lead vocals.
If you become everything
Which is being
you dream of,
compressed there.
there'll be nothing left
Hear that spring reverb on 8.
to do.
Everything in together. Okay, so we're ready. Our levels are all set on the tape machine. We're rolling. So when you are doing remixes like this, you know, there's things you can't change. There's the bounces, the decisions you make at the time. There's not much you can't really get into too much when there's drums, keyboards, bass, and all things on one track. You can get your EQ, which is great, to just bring out little things, add a little bit of low end, but you know, you're adding a little bit of low end, you're losing a little bit of high end, you know, so it's all a balancing act with that kind of thing. In the dream scenario, you've got a rack of compressors, you know, like the wealth of plugins that you'll have in a DAW. You know, you haven't got that. I've got 2 compressors, you know, so I have to bus things, like bus the vocals to one group and then use a compressor on both of them, you know, because you just have to work with the sheer limitations, and you know, there's certain things that you just can't do afterwards when you're working like this. So it's not going to be for everyone at all. I really like that. I like the fact that with all this knowledge moving forwards, when I record this way and I start to do tracking right from the start, you have to plan all these little things and think about, how am I going to process this? Do I need to print this effect to tape? Do I need to commit to this? And you know, it's it can be such a rewarding and wonderful experience, but it's definitely not for everyone. I hope you really enjoyed the track. Links below to my music. You can hit me up on Bandcamp, and that will take you to every album I've ever done. This particular track's from an album, like I said, called Bonafide. And see what you think. See if you think this mix is better. I would like to think this mix is better, but you never know. Sometimes you can revisit something, think that everything you're doing is great, and then all of a sudden you're listening on your headphones and you're walking along or something, and you listen to a mix you did 10 years ago with rubbish gear, rubbish microphones, and you know, whatever the choices you made at the time or whatever you did at the time. And sometimes you go, that sounds great. Why does that sound great? It shouldn't sound great. But that's what it's all about. So anyway, on that thought, on that note, see you next time. Cheers.